Greetings, travelers! I'm the Sumer Academic, and in this Genshin 101 series, I hope to demystify the core mechanics of Genshin Impact. Today's subject is at the heart of any character's build: attributes. They make you more durable, let you use abilities more often, or just make you do more damage. Today's agenda includes an explanation on what exactly is the function of each attribute, followed by examples of how attributes are scaled. Let's begin. Firstly, I would like to separate attributes into two categories: based attributes and baseless attributes. The based attributes are HP, attack, and defense. What characterizes them as based attributes is that they have three forms: flat, percent, and base. A character's base attributes grow with character level. Similarly, a weapon's base attack grows with weapon level. I will make it clearer why these distinctions are important in the latter part of this video. Baseless attributes are the remaining attributes that are not HP, attack, or defense. They are characterized by only coming in one form per attribute. For instance, Elemental Mastery only comes in flat form, and crit rate only comes in percent form. With our attributes now categorized, let us move on to functions, starting with the based attributes. HP, also known as hit points or health points, is a measure of how much damage your character can take before their death. Every character benefits from having more HP, but some characters such as Barbara scale their abilities off of HP. Next, we will look at the quintessential damage attribute. Attack is a measure of offensive power. Nearly every ability in the game is scaled off of character's attack. Although it is not the only offensive attribute, it is the foundation on which nearly every character's damage is built upon. We will look more thoroughly at attack in the later part of this video, so let's continue on to the next attribute. Defense makes a character more resistant to damage. Similarly to HP, the more defense your character has, the more damage they can take before falling in battle. Unlike HP, which makes you tougher by giving you more health to lose, defense toughens you by making you lose less health from each attack. The effectiveness of defense depends heavily on level. The difference in levels between you and your enemies determines not just the effectiveness of your defense, but also theirs. If you are higher level than enemies, your defense is more effective and theirs is less so. And the opposite is also true. This is why high level enemies, like the ones deep in Spiral Abyss, take so much less damage. With based attributes out of the way, we can proceed onto the baseless attributes. Elemental Mastery increases the strength of elemental reactions. In most cases, higher Elemental Mastery makes the triggering character's reactions do more damage. The exceptions to this are Crystallize and Frozen. Elemental Mastery increases the strength of Crystallized shields and doesn't affect Frozen. I will discuss reactions at length in an upcoming video, so I'll shelve that topic for now. This one will be quick and simple. Crit rate determines the chance that any given ability or attack that can crit does crit. In the ideal case, you want half as much crit rate as its sister stat. Crit damage is the multiplier of your critical strikes over the original damage. The more crit damage you have, the more damage your crits do. A crit damage value of 50% means that your critical strikes will do normal damage plus 50%, so 150% of the original damage. Healing bonus multiplies the healing done by a character. A character with 100% healing bonus will heal for 200% of the original heal. Incoming healing bonus works the same, but only with healing received. Now, onto an attribute that's a little more complicated. Energy recharge is a multiplier of the energy gained by a character. But to fully understand how energy recharge works, we need to understand the inner workings of the energy system as a whole. Energy is the resource that is spent to cast elemental bursts. Each character has an energy cost for their burst. Amber needs 40 energy, which is only half as much as Razor, who needs 80. Energy is gained when a character absorbs either an elemental particle or an elemental orb. Elemental particles are created when most characters hit with their elemental skills, and commonly when enemies reach certain HP percentages. Elemental orbs drop from certain enemies at certain HP percentages and are worth 3 times as much energy as particles. A Fatui agent drops an elemental orb 3 times, while a rune guard drops orbs 4 times and particles 3 times. The HP threshold for particle and orb drops are roughly 3/4, 1/2, 1/4, and dead. I said orbs are worth 3 times as much energy as particles, and that characters need a flat number of energy for their burst. So I'm sure you might be wondering why I didn't just say how much energy a particle or orb give. Well, I can tell you that exact number, but I need to know 2 things first. Whether or not the particles or orbs are the same element as the character, and whether or not the character is on the field or not. Put simply, if a character is the same element as the particle or orb they absorb, they receive 3 times as much energy than if they were a different element. Likewise, a character off the field gets a little more than half, 60%, of what they would get if they were on the field. I'll display the table showing the amount of energy a character receives, but you only need to remember that a character gets more energy if they are A, on the field, and B, the same element as the particles or orbs. It is these numbers on the table that are multiplied by your energy recharge. With all of that out of the way, let's decompress with a simpler attribute. CD reduction, short for cooldown reduction, reduces the time it takes for your character's elemental skill and elemental burst to come off cooldown. A 5% CD reduction, like the one you get from having at least 2 Anemo characters in your party, reduces your cooldown times by 5%, so they will take 95% of the normal time to cool down. Shield strength decreases the damage your shields take, much like the way defense decreases the damage your health takes. It is important to note that the character that is protected by the shield when it takes the damage is the one whose shield strength will be used, not the character who created the shield. The damage bonus attributes increase the damage your character deals of the corresponding type. These bonuses include elemental damage, physical damage, elemental bursts, and so on. These bonuses are added together and not multiplied. So if you have 75% elemental damage bonus and 25% burst damage bonus, your elemental burst will do 100% bonus damage, and not 175% times 125%. The res or resistance attributes function similarly to defense, but only apply to a specific type of damage. To quickly recap, lets you take more damage, makes you do more damage, makes you take less damage, stronger reactions, chance of bigger damage, makes that big damage bigger, bigger heals, burst sooner, abilities more often, shields take less damage, a type of damage is stronger, you are tougher to a type of damage. In this part, I would like to walk through an example of how we get from base attack all the way up to the number you see when your attack lands, followed by an example of baseless attribute scaling. We'll start with base attack. It comes from 2 sources, the character and their weapon. The weapon's base attack is added to the character's base attack to calculate their total base attack. We'll then take this number and multiply it by our percent attack, and then add our flat attack to get our total attack. Next, we take our total attack and multiply it by the ratio of the ability that we're using. If we have bonus damage that corresponds with the damage type of our ability, we multiply the ability's damage by our bonus damage percent. If the ability crits, we multiply its damage by our crit damage multiplier. And finally, if this ability happens to trigger an amplifying reaction, its damage is again multiplied. HP and defense both work the same way, except their base versions only come from the character and not their weapon. As far as baseless attributes, abilities that scale off them are rare and they're much more straightforward to calculate. For example, Raiden Shogun's second passive talent increases electro bonus damage by 0.4% per 1% of energy recharge above 100. So simply it's calculated as energy recharge minus 100 times 0.4. Take that number and add it to your electro bonus damage. No 8-step process to figure out the bonuses like with based attributes. And that's it. That was a more or less comprehensive look at attributes. I hope I presented you with new information, or maybe cleared up a misunderstanding you may have had. Our next lesson will be on the topic of reactions. Stay curious, traveler. I'll see you then.